if you're an LSU fan, you can't be mad about this. You simply just can't get mad about this game at all. If you're a USC fan, you got to be ecstatic about this for the future. But listen, LSU, I normally like to say this at the end of a video. LSU can afford a loss. Matter of fact, you can literally afford 2 losses, especially when you're competing in the SEC conference. Now, 3 losses, you're pushing it. Now you're pushing it. Now it's like, I'm barely 12 team, but for now, you're good to go. You know, in terms of strength of schedule, if USC continues to win a lot of football games, this is going to help you, especially if you go 10-2 or 9-3, and you're fighting for a berth to the playoffs. This is a good argument because you didn't get blew out. This was a back and forth football game. This game had everything. It had offense, defense. I mean, this was a war from a schematic standpoint. It was a war on both sides of the football for both teams. Both quarterbacks were dueling it out. And listen, I don't know if LSU or USC, but I don't know if both these teams improved defensively, right? I don't know, because, again, both teams were trash. And, I mean, they were so damn trash defensively, where it's kind of like when you have 2 trash defenses and it's just like, eh. But, however, I'll say this. LSU has a great offense, right? Even though they don't have Jaden Daniels, and USC has a great offense normally because they have Lincoln Riley as mostly the play caller. But obviously Caleb Williams left, and now you have Miller Moss in there. So, listen, I don't know what the hell is going to go on with these 2 teams, but I will tell you this. This was a hell of a football game. Miller Moss looked incredible. Garrett Nussmeier looked as phenomenal as advertised. I can't complain about this game. I am probably the biggest LSU and USC hater. I can't hate on either one of these 2 teams. This was incredible. This was by far the best football game of the entire week 1. And this is what I wish we should have had. More quality matchups, more quality football games. Unfortunately, there's a lot of teams that are going to schedule ITT Tech, and they're going to schedule ICDC College, and we're going to get a bunch of blowouts. Occasionally, yeah, you can get a game like Oregon and Idaho where you can have something like that, or maybe when Texas Tech barely won one game against Abilene, but barely won by 1 point against Abilene. But this is the type of football game that I simply loved to watch. I enjoyed every single second of it. And, man, this is going to help both teams. If USC loses 3 games and LSU goes on to go 9-3, this is going to help their case. If LSU goes 9-3 and they have to fight for another spot, this is going to help their case. This is why we need more matchups like this. Now, maybe toward the end of the regular season, when you have all these rivalry games goes on, and you can literally, Ohio State and Michigan, they can literally play each other back-to-back weeks if Michigan makes it that far to a point where they're in the conference championship. I hate that system. But in terms of the early game, why Power 4 teams should be playing Power 4 teams, this is going to help you in terms of making the 12-team playoff, right? Because you don't know. You never know. You may have a team, you may have a situation where you lose 3 or 4 games, and you have to make your case. Why should you be in the 12-team playoff? This is a big reason why. Strength of schedule it should matter. It should definitely matter here. And so I have no complaints. I have no complaints. Maybe Brian Kelly's game management, of course, that's always been in question, is his game management. But the talent was even. It felt the talent was very even. The quarterbacks were even. Defensively, I mean, both defenses had incredible moments. It's not like they both played bad. They had incredible moments. Both sides on the line of scrimmage were going back and forth. And like I said, LSU has that's one thing I am confident in. They have a top 10 offensive line, if not a top 5 offensive line in the country, with Will Campbell and Emory Jones potentially being first-round picks. USC, but again, this is kind of one of those situations where it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's just both defenses were so bad, and of course they made significant changes. Right? USC fired Alex Grinch. They hired Matt Zentz from North Dakota State. And pretty much LSU fired. Brian Kelly damn near fired almost his entire coaching staff, promoted Will Sloan to be the offensive coordinator, or Joe Sloan to be the offensive coordinator, and literally that entire defensive staff is gone. Brought in Bo Davis, got Corey Raymond. Like they both coaches, especially Lincoln Riley, finally made sure to get shit right. We will see how both defenses can progress through the season. We will see, right? And again, and a lot of it has to do with last season or the past couple seasons where the defenses were just not the strengths. LSU's quarterback play, I will say this though, is garbage. That's one thing that I'm just like, man, you got to be better. I think the front seven looked better. Your secondary looked ass. Looked terrible today. And that was honestly, in my opinion, the biggest weakness of the team last year was that secondary. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't want to praise both defenses too much, but because both of them had spotty moments, especially in their secondaries. But man, those front sevens, those D lines looked really good. They looked pretty impressive. So we'll see what happens for both teams, whether both defenses are just going to make massive changes, whether or not they can massively improve. But hell of a football game. I can't really complain. This was damn near perfect. And man, can't wait to see what both these teams, and I can't believe I'm even saying this shit. I can't wait to see what both teams do.